Srimad Bhagavata Mahatmyam as narrated in Padma Puran. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Padma Puran starts with prayer to Brahman. Sachidananda Rupaya Vishwa Utpatyati Hetave Tapatraya Vinashaya Sri Krishnaya Vayam Namaha. Let us sing glory of blissful Krishna, who is responsible for creation, maintenance and destruction of universe, and also who puts end to threefold agony, that is misery, created by self, by other creatures and by natural calamities. Miseries are mainly of two types, namely of body and of mind. Miseries in body like diseases can be treated by medicines, but miseries of mind like kama, krodha, lobha, etc. are very dangerous as they grow day by day. If we have a material wish, that is kama, it may or may not be fulfilled. If a wish is fulfilled, greedy or low will appear. If kama is not fulfilled, anger or krodh will appear. If we cut one branch of a tree, it will grow again and many more branches will appear. Only way is to uproot the tree of diseases of mind. Through bhakti, we will enter heart of Brahman, who will put end to our miseries by entering our hearts. Once, during Kali period, all saints gathered in the forest of Nemisharanya for tapas, yajna and other holy events. There, Saunaka Rishi, the leader of all rishis, said Sutta Puranika, the best spiritual narrator, your knowledge is like millions of suns, Koti Shurya Samaprabha, which remove our ignorance. Please recite the pastime of Lord Krishna, which are like tonic for ears. Sutta replied, O Saunaka, I will give you the essence of all conclusions of different spiritual philosophies, which will destroy the fear of birth and death. Sarva Siddhanta Nishpannam Samsara Bhaya Nashanam. This would increase the flow of devotion, which is chief cause of Sri Krishna's happiness, Krishna Santosha Hetukam. So, Savadhanataya Shrunu, the only prerequisite necessary for hearing Bhagavata Puran is to hear it attentively. Sri Shukadeva recited Srimad Bhagavatam to absolutely destroy fear of sansar, that is, cycle of birth and death. Srimad Bhagavatam Shastram Kalokirena Bhashitam. There is no superior means other than hearing Bhagavatam for purification of mind. But one gets chance to hear Srimad Bhagavatam only after accumulating punyas during several births. Janmantere bhavet punyam tada Bhagavatam labet. When Shukadeva prepared to recite Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj, the demigods, that is Devas, approached Shukadeva with a pot of nectar, that is Amrit, and said, please accept this pot of nectar and in exchange give us the nectar of Harikatha. Let King Parikshit drink this and let us drink the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam. For this, Parikshit replied, I know the difference between ordinary stone and precious gem. Amrit will give eternal lifespan, that is, no death. But hearing Bhagavatam will grant no birth henceforth. So, Parikshit rejected the Amrit offered from demigods. Demigods, whatever they offered, he rejected it. Suranamapi Durlabha. That is, hearing Bhagavatam is a rare event even for demigods. Lord Brahma was astonished to learn that Parikshit was liberated just by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. In Satyaloka, he put the Srimad Bhagavatam on one end of a scale and all other process of for obtaining liberation, that is Upanishads, etc., on the other end of the scale. Upon seeing the Srimad Bhagavatam tilt the scale, all the sages presented were struck with wonder. They asserted that in Kali Yuga, only hearing and reciting Srimad Bhagavatam can immediately relieve one from material distress. See, Saunaka asked, where did Narada met Sanaka brothers and how did his interest in hearing Harikatha develop? For this, Sutta replied, now I will narrate the episode that is full of devotion, that is bhakti. Once the Kumaras went to Vishala. In olden days, Badrinath was called as Vishala to get the holy association of saintly people. They met Narada Muni while returning from Badrinath. The Kumaras asked, Narad, why do you appear so dejected and full of anxiety? Where have you come from? And where are you going so quickly? You appear like a person in complete anxiety owing to loss of wealth. Please explain the reason for this. For this, Narada replied, Aham tu prithvim yato jnata jnatva sarvotamamiti pushkaram cha prayagam cha kashim godavarim tata harikshetram kurukshetram srirangam setubandhanam evamadishu tirteshu brahmamane itastataha. Narada replied, I came here considering the earth to be the best of planets. Although I travelled to Pushkara, Prayaga, Kashi, Godavari, Haridwar, Kurukshetra, Srirangam and Setubandhanam, I could not find peace in any of these holy places. At present, in Kali Yuga, truthfulness, cleanliness, mercy and charity are nowhere to be seen. People take pleasure in telling lies and are simply engaged in filling their bellies. They are lazy, less intelligent, unfortunate, and always disturbed. Those who are called saintly are actually pretenders. Though they appear renounced, they accumulate wealth. Husband and wives always quarrel. The holy places, ashrams of saintly people, and rivers are under the control of foreigners who are against Vedic religion. They have destroyed many temples and therefore yogis, siddhas, jnanis and religious people are not to be seen. The process of liberation are completely burnt to ashes in the fire of Kali Yuga. Witnessing the defects of Kali Yuga, I reached the bank of Yamuna where Lord Krishna had performed various pastimes. I saw a wonder there. A beautiful woman was sitting in a dejected mood while two old men lay unconsciously in front of her, breathing very quickly. While trying to bring them to consciousness, the young woman would sometimes cry. She was served by hundreds of women who were fanning and trying to console her. I saw this whole scene from afar and out of curiosity went near them. Upon seeing me, the young lady stood up and said, Bobo Sadho Chanam Tishta. O saintly person, please stay here for a moment and remove my sorrow. Narada inquired, O virtuous lady, who are you? And who are these two men lying here? Who are these ladies serving you? Please explain the cause of your distress in detail. The lady said, My name is Bhakti, and these two are my sons, Jnana and Vairagya. By the influence of time, they have become old. These women are the holy rivers, such as Ganges. They have come here to serve me. Although I am directly being served by these ladies, still I am not peaceful. Then she started telling her own history. Utpanna Dravide Saham Vriddhim Karnatake Gata Kochit Kochit Maharashtre Gurjare Jirnatam Gata. I was born in the land of Dravida and I grew up in Karnataka. I was respected in the state of Maharashtra, but when I came to Gujarat, I lost my youth. Upon coming to Vrindavana, I regained my youth and beauty, but my two sons who are lying here are still old and tired. Why is it that I am young and they are old? It should be that the sons are young while the mother is old. I am surprised. You have mystic power and are most intelligent. Therefore, please explain this to me. Narad said, due to lack of demand, made your sons weak. This is due to effect of Kali. Bhakti said, why is that King Parikshit did not kill the sinful Kali? Narada said, the king decided not to kill Kali because liberation, which is not attainable by penance, yoga, meditation, or samadhi, is easily attained in Kali Yuga simply by performing Harikatha or Nama Sankirtanam. Yat phalam nasti tapasa na yogena samadhina tat phalam labate samyak kalau keshava kirtanat. The king knew that just by through Nama Sankirtanam one would attain liberation and hence spared Kali. Hearing these words of Sri Narada Muni, Bhakti was very surprised. She replied, O wise person, you are very glorious and it is my good fortune to have met you. Sadhunam darshanam loke sarva siddhikaram param. Just by once meeting you, Sri Prahalada, the son of Kayatu, conquered Maya, and by your mercy, Dhruva Maharaja gained the Dhruva planet. You are the personification of all auspiciousness. I bow to you. In fact, Narada blessed Valmiki, who wrote Ramayanam, and advised Veda Vyasa, who then wrote Bhagavatam. The list is endless. Narada attempted to wake up Jnana and Vairagya just by shaking up their body with his hands. Narad said, O Jnana, wake up. O Vairagya, get up. Then he chanted Vedic mantras, Upanishads, and recited Bhagavad Gita. They were unable to even open their eyes. They were weak and sleepy. Seeing this, Narada fell into anxiety. Narad heard Asariri from the sky. O Devrishi, do not worry. Your efforts will be successful, but you must perform one specific noble act, that is a Satkarma, that will be revealed to you by some great saint. As soon as you complete that activity, Jnana and Vairagya will be released from their miseries and Bhakti will reign popularity everywhere. These words were heard by everyone. Narada was surprised on hearing this Asariri, since all these days he was thinking he was doing only Satkarmas. Now I am ordered to do Satkarma means what I was doing all these days. Also, the voice did not clearly explain the path, nor named the saint who will explain. Narada questioned himself, what must I do to implement this order of Asariri? Narada Muni travelled to various holy places and met many rishis and asked them to suggest a process by which Jnana and Vairagya could be revived. Saints said, if Jnana and Vairagya could not be revived after chanting of Vedas, Vedanta Sutras and recitation of Bhagavad Gita, then what can be the solution? And if Narada Muni, who is chief yogi and saint, does not know, then who can answer? Then Narada decided to go to Badrinath to find the solution to revive Jnana and Vairagya. Sanat Kumaras appeared there. Seeing them, Sri Narada inquired, O saintly people, please reveal that process which Asariri directed me to learn from saintly people. Please explain in detail how to follow that path. How can Bhakti, Jnana and Vairagya become happy? The Kumaras replied, O sage Narada Muni, abandon your anxiety and be happy for the solution which is simple. We know the procedure the Asariri referred to and we will explain it to you. This constitutes the study of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which has been sung by great personalities like Shukadeva. Idam Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Bhakti Jnana Virahanam Sapanaya Prakashitam. Just by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, which is at par with Vedas, Bhakti, Jnana and Vairagya will be nourished. This will relieve the misery of Jnana and Vairagya and will make Bhakti blissful. Narada question, I have tried to awaken Jnana and Vairagya by chanting the Vedas, Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita with no success. How is it possible that they will be revived by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam? After all, Srimad Bhagavatam is nothing more than the essence of Vedas. Please therefore remove my doubt. The Kumaras said, the vital fluid of the tree is spread from root to the tip, though it cannot be tasted. When that same fluid accumulates in the fruit, however, it tastes very delicious. Ghee is spread throughout cow's milk, but it cannot be tasted unless it is extracted through a process. Sugar also exists throughout the sugar cane, yet when extracted, it becomes more tasty. Oil is inside till but visible after extraction. The same applies to Srimad Bhagavatam, which is equal to juice of Vedas. Once Vyasadeva was dejected after several works on scriptures. You chanted Chaturshloki Bhagavatam to him. Upon hearing these verses, Vyas was free from his mental worry. So, why you are doubtful? Recite Srimad Bhagavatam to Jnana and Vairagya and their miseries will be destroyed. Narada asked Sanat Kumaras, please explain where this yajna should be performed. Also, please explain the proper procedure and duration of the recitation. The Kumaras replied, O Narada, we will explain everything to you. Near Haridwara, there is a bathing place on the bank of Ganges called Ananda. Many saintly persons reside there. Go there and start this Jnana Yajna. Wherever there is a recitation of Bhagavatam, Bhakti Jnana and Vairagya automatically appear. By the sound of Bhagavatam, they will become young and energetic. After saying this, the Kumaras decided to chant Srimad Bhagavatam at Ananda. The news spread all over. Many sages like Vasishta, Gautama, Parasurama, Vishwamitra, Markandeya, Dattatreya, Parasara arrived there along with their disciples. Besides them, the Vedas, the Upanishads, Mantras, Tantras, and 17 Puranas came in their personified forms. Sacred rivers like Ganges, sacred ponds like Pushkara, holy kshetras like Kurukshetra, sanctified forests like Dandaka, all the dishas, majestic mountains like Himalayas, the demigods, Gandharvas came there to hear Harikatha. The Kumaras began reciting Bhagavatam. By hearing Bhagavatam, one attained liberation. Also, for just by doing so, first we occupy Krishna's heart, and in turn, Krishna starts cleaning devotee's heart. Ekam Bhagavatam Shastram Muktidanena Garjati. Srimad Bhagavatam alone is sufficient for liberation. That house where Bhagavatam is recited daily becomes holy place, and those who reside there become free from all sins. Thousands of hot sacrifices and hundreds of Vajpayee sacrifices cannot compare to 1/16th of benefit of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. O sages, sins reside in a person's body only until he or she hears Srimad Bhagavatam. Na Ganga, na Gaya, Kashi, Pushkaram, na Prayagam. Shugashastra Kadayascha Palena Samatam Nayet. The benefit offered by Ganges, Gaya, Kashi, Pushkara, or Prayaga cannot compare to those derived from hearing the Bhagavatam. Slokartam, Slokapadam va Nityam Bhagavatodbhavam. If you all desire the supreme destination, then you should daily recite at least one half or even 1/4 of Srimad Bhagavata sloka is sufficient. Liberation is guaranteed. Indeed, it is not very easy to get opportunity to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Only a very pious person gets such opportunity. hearing this katha with attention. Hear this katha with attention. There are no rules, restrictions, time or date for hearing Bhagavatam. Dinanam niyamo nasti sarvada shravanam matam. No rules for hearing Bhagavatam as per Sanat Kumaras. But people in Kali Yuga are short-lived, always sick and unable to control their minds. The process of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam in 7 days is recommended for people during Kali Yuga by Shukadev. Yat phalam nasti tapasa na yogena samadhina anayasena tat sarvam saptaha shravane labhet. That benefit, which is unattainable through penance and yoga, can be easily attained by hearing Bhagavatam through process of Saptaha. While the Kumaras were explaining the glory of Saptaha, Bhakti appeared along with her two sons, who have now regained their youth. She was loudly repeating and chanting Sri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare, O Narayana Vasudeva. Like that she was dancing and chanting Sri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare Nateti Namani Muhurvadati. Here the material problem of bhakti was solved through higher level spiritual solution. Bhakti and her two sons humbly submitted. In Kali Yuga we were almost lost, but now you have rejuvenated us. Please explain where we can reside. The Kumaras responded, you should reside in the hearts of the devotees of Lord Krishna and overpower influence of Kali on devotees. Upon hearing the words of Kumaras, Bhakti entered the hearts of devotees. The Kumaras said, crooked people also get purified by the Saptaha Yajna. I will recite a story which is simply by hearing Saptaha one will become free from sin. Once on the banks of Tungabhadra lived a Brahmana named Atmadeva who was expert in chanting Vedas. He had a beautiful wife named Dunduli, who was by nature very cruel, talkative, and took great pleasure in gossiping with others. Atmadeva was not happy because they had no children. One day, feeling very disheartened, Atmadeva left home and went to the forest and sat near a pond. A saint came there for taking water. Atmadeva approached the saint and fell at his feet and cried. The sannyasi asked, O Brahmana, why are you crying? Tell me what is your problem. The Brahmana said, O saint, I am suffering from sins committed in my past life. I have come here to give up my useless life. A house without children is like a forest. O Maharaja, even the cows I acquire become barren. When I plant a tree, it yields no fruit or flowers. And when I bring fruit to my home, it spoils very quickly. I am most unfortunate because I have no child. Therefore, my life has no purpose. Saying this, Atmadeva began crying, and the saint's heart became filled with mercy. By seeing the lines on the Atmadeva's forehead, he could understand everything about his life. Sapta janmavadi tava putro naivacha naivacha. The saint said, give up your attachment and desire for children, for fate is very powerful. I can understand your fate, and you will have no child even for next 7 lives. Understanding Atmadeva's determination, the saint offered him a fruit and said, your wife will surely get pregnant and bear you a son upon eating this fruit. Idam bhaksha patniya tvam tataha putro bhavishyati. After saying this, the sannyasi disappeared and the Brahmana, that is Atmadeva, joyfully returned home. He gave the fruit to his wife. His wife, whose nature was crooked, began crying and spoke to her associate. My dear friend, I am in great anxiety. My husband has brought a fruit which has the potency to give me a son. If I eat it, I will become pregnant, my womb will grow, and not being able to eat properly, I will become weak, unable to perform my household duties. If by ill fortune, dacoits attack, I will not be able to run in my pregnant condition, and if during the time of delivery the child gets stuck in the birth canal, I will lose my life. Childbearing is very painful, and upbringing is more painful. I think only barren woman and woman live happily. Vandya va vidava nari shukini cheti me matihi. Being wicked, this wickedly, she thinks wickedly only and made such a statements. Thinking in this way, she did not eat the fruit. Yet, when her husband Atmadeva asked her, she lied, yes, I have eaten it. After hearing this, Atmadeva left for Vedic chanting. One day, her sister visited and Dunduli narrated the whole story to her. For this, her sister replied, I am now pregnant. So when I deliver this child, I will secretly give the child to you. Meanwhile, you pose yourself as pregnant and offer some wealth to my husband, thus he will not mind giving this child to you. Somehow, we will arrange for everyone to think that I suffered a miscarriage after 6 months. Later, I will arrange to nourish the baby at your house. Now, to test the fruit, let us give it to the cow in your home. Dundali fed the fruit to the cow, and in the due course, her sister gave birth to a son. The child's father quietly handed over the child to Dundali, who informed Atmadeva that she had delivered a son. Hearing this, Atmadeva became very jubilant. He performed the birth ceremony along with various other auspicious activities, gave charity to the Brahmanas, and arranged musicians to celebrate the birth of his son. Dundali said to her husband, there is no milk in my breast, and I think it is not possible to feed cow's milk to the child yet. What shall I do? My sister's child was stillborn, so if you call her, she can breastfeed my son. Atmadeva took her suggestion, and Dundali named the boy Dundukari. After 3 more months, the cow that ate the fruit also delivered a beautiful human child. He was peaceful and divine looking, and his face was very brilliant. Atmadeva performed all the appropriate ceremonies for this new child also. Hearing this, all the people were astonished, and all came to see the baby born to cow. Atmadeva named the cow's son Gokarna because his ears resembled those of a cow. In time, both boys grew up. Gokarna Pandito Jnani, Dundukari Mahakalaha. Gokarna was intelligent and scholarly, while Dundukari was a rogue and took pleasure in violent activities. He was attached to prostitutes, and thus he wasted all his father's wealth. One day Dundukari severely beat his parents, took all the pots and utensils in the house and sold them. In this way, all of Atmadeva's property was lost. Atmadeva began saying sadly, I was better off earlier. To have such a son is worse than having no son at all. Where shall I go? Who will help me in this unfavorable situation? I am being destroyed by my own son, and I am prepared to give up my life. Gokarna arrived at that time and began instructing him, O father, you should deliberate upon who is the real owner of sons and wealth. Therefore, give up this ignorance, thinking that this is your wife, that is your son, and so on. O father, this body is nothing but a combination of bones, fat, blood, and flesh. Therefore, do not consider that you are this body and that this wife and children are yours. Therefore, take shelter in bhakti, render service to saintly people, fully engage in the service of the Lord. Influenced by the preaching of his son, Atmadeva left home. Day and night he remained engaged in the service of the Lord. He regularly recited Bhagavatam until finally he reached the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. After Atmadeva went to the forest, Dundukari beat his mother severely and demanded her wealth and threatened to burn her. Being overly troubled, One night, Dundukari threw herself into a well and drowned. The saintly Gokarna went on pilgrimage. Dundukari remained in the house with five prostitutes and constantly worried how to accumulate wealth. Dundukari, completely blinded by lust, stole some wealth from king's palace and used it to buy beautiful clothes and ornaments. After receiving the stolen goods, one night the prostitutes began to consider Dundukari will surely get caught by the king, who will confiscate his wealth and hang him. Instead, let us kill him ourselves and take his wealth and move to a distant place. Thinking this way, one night, while Dundukari was sleeping, they tied him with ropes, put a noose around his neck, and then brought burning wood and inserted it into his mouth. The wood burned him to death and they buried his body. These ladies told villagers Dundukari had gone far away to collect some wealth and would return after a year, took all Dundukari's wealth and disappeared. Owing to these misdeeds, Dundukari attained a ghost body and remained within a wind form, wandered here and there, suffering from hunger and thirst and repenting his misfortune. The news of Dundukari's death reached Gokarna, so he went to Gaya to perform Shraddha for his brother. Later, Gokarna reached his hometown. Dundukari's ghost observed Gokarna return. So he appeared before him in peculiar wind form. Seeing this, Gokarna realized that a ghost must be making this display. Gokarna asked, "Who are you? Why are you exhibiting all these fearsome forms? How did you fall into this condition?" The ghost replied, "I am your brother Dundukari. Because of my misdeeds, I have fallen like this. I am suffering the reaction for my ill activities and have thus got this ghostly form. My dear brother, you are the ocean of mercy. Please somehow relieve me from this ghostly form." Gokarna replied, "Dear brother, I am very surprised. I duly performed Shraddha for you in Gaya, and it is a wonder that you still have not been relieved from this ghostly form. If you cannot be delivered by performing sacrifice in Gaya, then I do not know what to do." The next morning, many people from Brahmana Samaj came to see Gokarna and he explained the incident which has occurred the previous night. They all consulted the scriptures but could not suggest a suitable means for Dundukari. Gokarna prayed the sun god, "O Lord, you are the witness of the whole universe. Please be merciful and tell me the process to relieve Dundukari." Srimad Bhagavatam Muktihi Saptaham Vachanam Kurum iti Sri Surya Vachaha Sarvair Dharma Rupam tu Vishrutam. The sun god replied, "Only thing can be done to relieve him is recitation of Srimad Bhagavatam for 1 week." The news spread that Gokarna would perform the Saptaha Yajna. From the nearby villages, many people came who had the desire to become free from their sins. Gokarna began reciting the pastimes of Lord Krishna, and that time the ghost also came in wind form and searched for a place to sit. Because he had an airy body, he could not sit outside, so he entered a bamboo rod which had 7 knots and thus began hearing Bhagavatam. First day evening, one of the knots in the bamboo cracked and burst. In this way, at the end of each day, a knot would burst, and on the 7th day, when the recitation was complete, all the knots were cracked. Dundukari was relieved from his ghostly form and he was liberated. He immediately offered his respect to Gokarna and said, "My dear brother, by your mercy, I have been released from the ghostly body. This ceremony of Saptaha is so glorious that it can destroy ghostly forms and elevate one to the abode of Lord Krishna. A Vaikunta aeroplane appeared carrying associates of Lord. In front of the assembled persons, Dundukari boarded the plane for Vaikuntham. Here Gokarna posed a question. O dear associates of Lord, in this assembly there are many pure-hearted people also heard the Bhagavata Saptaha. Why is that this aeroplane has come exclusively for Dundukari? Why are the others not getting the same result? The servants of the Lord spoke. O Gokarna, the ghost had no alternate and hence fasted for 7 days and heard Bhagavatam with a completely fixed and attentive mind. If one hears the Bhagavatam attentively, he or she certainly attains Vaikuntham. O Gokarna, as far as you are concerned, the Lord himself will come to take you to Goloka. Gokarna again performed the Saptah Yajna of Srimad Bhagavatam, and all the people, animals, birds and insects in the village listened to it attentively. The Lord appeared and blew his shell Panchajanya and embraced Gokarna. In a moment, Lord liberated everybody who listened Srimad Bhagavatam. Lord Krishna became very pleased by Gokarna's Harikatha and took Gokarna with him to Golok. Sanaka Muni said, O Narada, what can we say about the wonderful result which one attains by hearing Bhagavata Saptaha? Even those who have heard a fraction of the history of Gokarna do not take birth again. This story is so purifying that anyone who hears it even once becomes free from all sins. Anybody who recites Sri Bhagavatam daily attains liberation. Then Sanaka brothers explained the process of Saptah Yajna. The recitation of Bhagavatam should be done either in a holy place, a forest, or in one's house. The recitation of Bhagavatam gives the highest benefit to all living beings. When the Saptah Yajna is over, the audience should worship the book with great devotion. The speaker should distribute prasadam, tulsi leaves, and offer garlands to the audience. This process of performing Saptaha removes all sins. Performance of the most auspicious Bhagavatam will bestow whatever one desires, be in Dharma, Artha, Kama or Moksha. There is no doubt about it. After saying this, the Kumaras recited Bhagavatam for 1 week. After recitation, Jnana, Vairagya and Bhakti were re-energized. Being young and enthusiastic, they attracted the hearts of all living entities. Shukadeva, the best of the yogis, appeared there and said, O devotees, Srimad Bhagavatam is the mature fruit of the wish-fulfilling tree Kalpataru of Vedas. It has come from my mouth and is full of nectar. This fruit has no skin or stone. It is pure nectar and is easily available only on earth. Therefore, as long as you are conscious, please drink it again and again. Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam shukamogat amridadrava samyutam pipata bhagavatam rasamalayam mugaraho rasika bhuvi bhavuka. If one takes shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is no need for any other scripture or process. When Shaunaka brothers concluded the Bhagavata Saptaha at Ananda, Krishna appeared with a flute with Prahalada, Bali, Uddhava, Arjuna and other associates, and then entered the heart of his devotees. Lord Shiva, Parvati, Lord Brahma came there to listen. Prahalada, who is very swift, played the Karatala. Narada Muni played his Veena, and Arjuna, who is adept in ragas, sang melodiously. Indra played Mridanga, and Kumara shouted, Jai Jaya, Jai Jaya. Bhakti Jnana Vairagya danced like expert dancers. Seeing this, Sri Narada said, O sages, today I have seen the wonderful glory of Saptaha. I have no doubt, therefore, that in Kali Yuga, Bhagavata Katha is the most powerful process for purifying the heart. Saunaka asked, O Suta, when did Shukadeva recite the Bhagavatam to Parikshit, Gokarna to Dundukari, and Kumaras to Narada Muni? Suta replied, about 30 years after Lord Krishna's departure to his abode, Shukadeva recited Bhagavatam to Parikshit. 200 years later, Gokarna recited Bhagavatam to Dundukari. 30 years later, Kumaras recited Bhagavatam to Narada and others at Ananda. When the Yamadutas went to arrest Ajamilan, that is a Vishnu Bhakt with ropes, Yamaraja instructed his Yamadutas, don't approach those who are hearing or heard the pastimes of Lord Hari. I do not have the power to touch them. They are beyond my jurisdiction. This is the essence of all scriptures. There is nothing superior to this Bhagavatam which was chanted by Shukadeva. Samaptamidam Srimad Bhagavata Mahatmya. Here ends Srimad Bhagavata Mahatmya. Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayana.